Hi everyone. Today I'm going to give a quick overview of the Flores versus Arizona case and talk a little bit about how it affected English learners or ELs in our schools. So the case started in 1992 when a group of parents from the Nogales Unified School District sued the state of Arizona. They argued that the state wasn't doing enough to support students who were still learning English, known then as LEP or Limited English Proficient Students. So this violated a federal law called the Equal Educational Opportunities Act, which says schools have to give these students the tools that they need to learn English and keep up in all of their classes. So at the time, Arizona was only spending $150 per student on English language instruction. And so a judge later ruled that that amount wasn't based on what students actually needed and called it arbitrary. So the court also pointed out problems like crowded classrooms, not enough trained teachers or aides, and not enough materials. So the issue wasn't with the programs themselves, they were considered well designed. It was that they just weren't funded properly. So in 2000, a court order required Arizona to fix these problems, and a consent decree was signed to make sure that schools had better systems for identifying and supporting AL students. But the question of funding dragged on for years, which led to more lawsuits, court fines, and delays. So then that same year, voters passed Proposition 203, um, which changed how English learners were taught. It replaced bilingual education with structured English immersion, or SEI, and this meant that students would get 4 hours a day of English instruction, taught almost entirely in English, and could only stay in the program for up to 1 year. So, what was the impact of all of this? On one hand, the case brought more attention and structure to how ELs are taught in Arizona, and it also pushed the state to be more consistent and accountable. But on the other hand, many schools still didn't have enough resources, and the 1 year time limit in SEI didn't work for every student. So some learners were moved into regular classrooms too soon before they were really ready. So overall, in the end, Flores versus Arizona showed just how much funding, policy decisions, and program design matter when it comes to helping English learners succeed. And this isn't just with learning English, but learning in everything. And that pretty much sums up Flores versus Arizona. And thank you so much for listening.